Sagana Bhuvatu Sagana Bhunaktu Sagaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunavayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahma Vidvaram.
ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणी भगवती अष्टादशाध्यायिनी अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दाय यतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पातो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। वसुदेवसुदं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहने कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी कैवर्तककेशवः पाराश्चर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगण्डोत्कटं नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनाबोधितं लोके षड्जन षट्पदैरहरः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयाद्भारत पंकजं कलिमल प्रध्वंसिनः श्रेयसे मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्र रुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगा ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुत्सुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। मम
Thank you, Ma. Before we enter chapter 10, which is titled Vibhuji Yoga. Vibhuji means glory of the Lord, the grace of the Lord, the kripa of the Lord. Everything is because of the grace of God, which we do not know because we are immersed in material world. According to the Vedanta, the moment you open your eyes in the morning, you should see Bhagavan. Everywhere Bhagavan is there. He is Sarvavyapi. But our drishti, instead of Ishvara drishti, our drishti gets directed towards the material aspects. So Vibhuti Yoga mainly focuses on getting a shift from Jagat Srishti, Jagat view to Ishvara Drishti. And we also discussed about the benefits of this Vibhuti Yoga. One is for Upasana, this will be very beneficial. Then we all have hatred. So once we have the Vibhuti Yoga, our hatred will also get eliminated. Removal of Dvesham in Sanskrit. Next is Ahankaram. Removal of Ahankaram, ego. If my neighbor has some glory, achievement, we have two types of views looking at him. One, we can say, a jealousy comes to me, then I hate him because he has more than me. The other is that if we have this Vibhuti Yoga, that everything is Bhagavan's. So his glory or his extra comforts are given by Bhagavan. Probably he has given more to him than me. So if you have that attitude, then that hatred will not come. So that means Ahankara can be removed. Instead of creating jealousy, we will be appreciating the glory of Bhagavan. Another way they call it is Asuya Nashartam. Removal of the hatred. Then Mano Vishalam, Vishalartam, expansion of the mind. Now today our minds are all constricted. Bhagavan says, Arjuna says in the second chapter, 7th sloka, Karpanya Doshoha Swabhava. My mind is constricted. I am not able to utilize my intellect. I cannot decide which is right, which is prayas, which is shreyas. So he surrendered to Bhagavan. Shishyasteham Shadimam Tvam Prabannam. So once he surrendered to Bhagavan, then Bhagavan took charge of Arjuna. So that is what we also should do. That we should be able to surrender to Bhagavan, wholehearted, 100%, and give everything to Bhagavan. He will definitely guide us in the right method. Today we have very, very narrow mind. If I am a Rama Bhakta, I don't like Krishna Bhaktas. If I am a Shiva Bhakta, then I hate the other gods. I mean, from Eka Rupa, this Vibhuti Yoga will give Aneka Rupa appreciation. That means we will appreciate everything. Everything is Bhagavan's. So Bhagavan has only got different Nama Rupas. He does not have any partiality. The rain is coming. When the rain is falling on a field, the rain does not differentiate between, discriminate between what is a good seed and what is a bad seed. It gives uniformly the rain to all the seeds. So some seeds give us benefit and some seeds gives the weeds. Weeds are damaging the crop. So we remove the weeds. But the rain does not discriminate between a good and bad. Same thing is with Bhagavan. So this is the Vibhuti Yoga advantage. So our mind gets expanded. Next comes Dvanta Nivritti, pair of opposites. This is also one of the very, very, what you call as problem for all of us. Sukha, dukkha, day, night. Peace of mind, grief of mind, sorrowful mind. So there is dvantas. Everywhere there is a pair of opposites. And Krishna says we should have an equanimity, equal in both. When I get something which I wanted, liked, I should not get excessively happy. And when I do not get what I wanted, then depression also should not come. You should have equal buddhi, samatva buddhi. Samatvam yoga uchyate. That is called karma yoga. The benefit of this, that karma yoga, is if you have removal of dvantam, pair of opposites, your mind becomes purified. And once the mind is purified, you will be able to listen to scriptures. The Shravanam will be very effective. Shravanam, Mananam, Adidhyasanam, that is Jnana Yoga, will become very effective. This Dvanta Nivritti is at the mind level. And there is one more, the last, Advaita Siddhyartham. Advaita Siddhyartham. We are all in Dvaitams now. So we should know that there is no second thing other than Bhagavan. That is at the intellectual level. So at mind level, we have Dvanta Nivritti, pair of opposites. And at the intellectual level, there is only one in the world, in the universe, cosmos, and that is Bhagavan. We get scared, afraid of only when there is a second swing. Dvitiyat bhayam bhavati. Dvitiyat bhayam bhavati. When there is a second one, then only we get scared. The fear comes in. So the Vibhuti Yoga gives all these benefits to one. So now Krishna says to Arjuna that you are a wonderful student. He starts with this 10th shloka chapter does not start with any question from Arjuna. Krishna himself takes up the subject. So we'll read the first shloka. Ata dashamodhyayah Sri Bhagavan uvacha Bhuya eva mahabaho Shrinu me paramam vachah Yatteham priyamanaya Bhakshyami hitakamyaya Bhuya eva mahabaho Shrinu me paramam vachah Yatteham priyamanaya Bhakshyami hitakamyaya. So Lord Krishna says, why I want to talk again on this subject, on this Atma Jnanam? Because I find that you are enjoying my talk all this time. In the beginning, on the first chapter, it was called a Vishada Yoga. Arjuna was totally grief-stricken and he didn't know what to do. So he surrendered. And then it took 9 chapters for Lord Krishna to bringing up to this happy level. Somebody will ask how Krishna knows that Arjuna is happy. Now we have got, science as you call it, when you look at the face is the index of the mind. And if the face is very cheerful, can be cheerful only if the mind is pleased, mind is happy. If somebody appears for an interview, say IAS, he has written the examination, he got the interview call, he answered very well, and the moment he gets a confirmation that he has been selected, you can see his face. Or the other thing is, a son has gone 2 years abroad and he is coming back. And when he comes back, when he enters the house, you can see how the parents are so happy. From the body language, we can see whether the happiness can be exhibited. Krishna knows the same thing because Krishna is a Sarvajna. He can read the mind of everybody. So he knows what is going on in the mind. We have limited knowledge, so we cannot see him. And he has got an unlimited knowledge. That's why he is Bhagavan. So Krishna says, since you are enjoying the discussion, what I am offering to you, I am repeating this again. Bhuya eva Mahabaho. Mahabaho is talking about Arjuna. He has got long hands. Long hands means what? He is an archer. He has got courage. He has got, his intellect is also sharp now. So, Bhuya eva Mahabaho. Bhuya eva Mahabaho. Srinume paramam vachaha. And aham vakshyami. Krishna says, I am teaching you, giving this advice. Now, why should Krishna talk about Bhuya eva? Bhuya means again, again and again, because he has already given on the 7th chapter and the 9th chapter some of the glimpses of the Lord, Vibhuti. But again, why he is talking about again? So there are 3 reasons for repeating. If there is a dull student, the teacher will say, write an imposition. Write 8 times, 10 times. In the case of mathematic tables, we all would have undergone that. That imposition, writing again and again and again, will make us understand. Suppose I want to memorize one Gita sloka. Take any sloka for that matter. So we can memorize that sloka. First time you read, you will not be able to get anything inside. I'll give one example of one sloka, which is Yuktahara viharasya Yukta Ch-10 karmana Yukta swapnavabodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha. So there are 4 portions of this sloka. 2 portions in the first part, sloka line, and 2 in the second line. Yuktahara viharasya. That means be moderate in eating and enjoyment. Yukta Ch-10 karmasu. All activities also be moderate. Yukta swapnavabodhasya. While sleeping, while dreaming, while keeping awake, be moderate. Yogo bhavati dukkha. Yogo bhavati dukkha means all sorrows will be removed. Now, if first time I read, I will not be able to get any of these messages. But suppose you recite this sloka 10 times or 10 days continuously for 2-3 times a day, splitting into 4 parts. Yukta ahara viharasya. Yukta aharasya viharasya. Yukta Ch-10 karmasu. So this practice will give ultimately memorizing. You can easily memorize. You cannot say it is not possible. So that is the reason why when something is repeated again and again, naturally that will go into our mind. Initially, you may not know the meaning. In the Gurukulam, in the Veda classes, where the student is after the Upanayana at the age of 6 or 7, the boy is taken to the Parshala, Veda Parshala, and dropped there. And what the Guru says is, he will give the Gita book, Bhagavad Gita book. He said, you read and memorize. See, when we are young, it is easy to get memorization. So for 1 or 2 years, all the scriptures they have to study and memorize. Then only the meaning will be explained to them. So similarly here, initially you may not understand the meaning of yuktahara viharasya. But over a period of time, once this is in your mind, then if I tell you the meaning of each and every word, then it will go into our mind. So this is the way of learning the scriptural ways. So bhuya eva mahabhaho. Now there are 3 things in repeating this knowledge, because the first is this scriptural knowledge is a very, very subtle knowledge, very subtle. It is very difficult. See, for example, gross things we can see. If I see an apple, I can see the apple. If somebody is standing in front of me, I can see. But what is going on in his mind, that I will not be able to see, because that is subtle. There was one Shishya, and the Guru told him, go to a forest and do meditation, tapas. After 1 month, he came back and he said, the Guru asked him, what did you listen in the forest? He said, the shrieks of the birds. A lot of birds were there, so their shrieks I was able to hear. Then the Guru said, you again go, 1 more month you stay and come back. Then he asked the Shishya, what did you hear now? He said, the ants are moving. I could see the movement of that ants. That means it has become subtler. The Guru said, no, again you go, come back. After 1 month, he came back. And Guru asked him, what did you listen now? He said, the flower petals, when they bloom in the morning, that movement I was able to hear. Flower petals. Imagine. That is the Sushmatvam. So Sushmatvam means subtlest of that. If I am able to see the subtlest sound or subtlest Atma, Atma is the subtlest. There's nothing subtler than Atma. So naturally what will happen is, my mind is becoming subtler, 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 and ultimately I will come to know that me and Bhagavan, there is no difference. I am Bhagavan. Aham Brahmasmi. So that's how the scriptural thing is to be done. So bhuya eva mahabhago. So here what happens is, the first is the repeated knowledge is required because jnatavyasya sushmatvad in Sanskrit. Jnatavyasya sushmatvad. Whatever you want to learn, it is subtler. That is why we have to go on repeated Shravanam. Take an example of a newspaper. Every day we get a newspaper. You read immediately the newspaper as soon as it comes. Somebody used to say it is like a hot coffee. The moment it comes, I read hot coffee. Second day, what happens to that newspaper? When the new newspaper comes in that second day, the old newspaper goes into waste basket. So that is like the same fellow who said it was like a hot coffee. It was like a R in a coffee. The coffee has lost its essence. That is in the case of newspaper. But what about Bhagavad Gita? Scriptures, Ramayanam, Mahabharatam. Any number of times we listen. We are not getting what you call as bored or anything. We would like to listen to the scriptures again and again, because only that way we can understand the implications and the subtleness of the subject. That is the first word. Jnatavyasya sushmatvat. Second is durvikneyatvam. Durvikneyatvam means it is very hard to understand. Anything gross we can easily understand, but when it goes to subtler, it is very difficult. For example, in a class, there are a lot of students. You will see some of them are very bright students because their intellect is very subtle. They are able to filter all other thoughts outside and concentrate on what the teacher says. That is why they are brilliant students. Brilliant students means that their intellect is very sharp. So, durvikneyatvam, we have to go on repeating. And once the mind becomes purer and purer, like we saw, that dvanta nivritti, that pair of opposites is removed, then our mind becomes purer, and naturally our understanding, grasping power will increase. Durvikneyatvam. The third is, somebody can say, why should Lord Krishna go on repeating, among Pandavas I am Arjuna, among Rishis I am Vyasa. So like that, why he should go on repeating? I can learn it from some other people also. But here, Bhagavad will say in the second this thing, that I am the cause for all the loka, world, Jagat Karanam. So only I know what I have to tell you. Like in a teacher and a student, students have limited knowledge, what the teacher has imparted to him. But the teacher has a total knowledge. The teacher knows much more than the student, whereas the student has got a limited knowledge. So similarly here, Bhagavan only knows his glory. No other people have know the glory. For example, in the second sloka, he used to talk about rishis and devas. So we'll come at that time there. So bhuya eva mahabhaho sridume paramam vachaha. Paramam vachaha means superior atmajnanam. The words are not superior, but the object, what the words are teaching us, that is parama, uttama, paramam vachaha. Not an ordinary subject. It is subject about yourself, self-knowledge. Vedas are talking only about us, not about any third party. Yatteham priyamanaya. That we discussed, priyamanaya, because Arjuna was a very, very good student. He was listening very carefully and he is enjoying. His face is glowing. Vakshyami hita kamaya. There is a parallel in Kathopanishad. In Kathopanishad, Yamadharmaraja praises Nachiketas. Nachiketas was a student like Arjuna, but Nachiketas has got much more Shastra Jnanam. So Nachiketas, at the age of 10, he wanted to know what is death. And Yamadharmaraja made all the offers to him, all the material things in the world, in the Bhuloka and in the Swargaloka. But Nachiketa had Vairagyam, dispassion. He said, no, I don't want anything other than this knowledge. And ultimately, Yama has to yield. And then Yamadharmaraja was very, very happy to openly say that you are a very, very good student. For a guru to get good student is also a blessing. So Yamadharmaraja praises Nachiketa. So similarly here, Lord Krishna is praising Arjuna. That is why Priyamanaya, Preeti, and Hitakamyaya. Hitakamya means there are many people who come to us and appreciate, that, oh, you do this, you do that. They give you advice even without our unsolicited advice. And then they will say it is for your welfare. We are looking at your welfare. For that, I am advising you all these things. But in the heart of heart, it is not a sincere advice. So here Bhagavan says, Hita Kamyaya. Hita means for your Shreyas. Because there are two things, prayers and Shreyas. Generally, people talk about prayers. They praise you just to get something in return. Whereas Shreyas means he does not expect anything in return in whatever advice you give. So, Shreyas. Hita Kamyaya. Now here, what is Lord Krishna teaching Arjuna? He talking about Advaita Jnanam, Atma Jnanam. That is the maximum. That is why it's Paramam Vachaha. He said Paramam Vachaha. Te Vakshyami. For you I tell. The greatest good one can offer for a person is to make him recognize that he is Ishvara. That clarity in thinking is a glory. So a guru offers this Hitakamyaya, that glory to us. I mean, making our intellect very, very sharp and clarified. That is only Bhagavan's glory. So once we have that glory, then our thinking, clarity of thinking will be extremely efficient and good. Today, most of our problems are we have a disorganized, it's not clarity at all because our mind is diluted. Diluted means that we see truth as untruth, untruth as truth, kindness as unkindness. So that means we are more immersed in the pair of opposites rather than the real one. That is why we have that Viveka Buddhi is required, discriminative capacity. Vivekam is nothing but what is real and what is unreal. So what is real means we will go after the real. We will not go after the unreal. Only deluded people will go with unreal. So Hitakamyaya here means that I am telling you a message about Atma Jnanam, which is nothing but shreyas for you. That's what Arjuna wanted in the second chapter. Yat shreyasyas ichitam bruhitanme shishyatekam shadimam tvam prabannam. So that means Arjuna has taught him the shreyas, the language of shreyas. So Hita Kamya. So now you can see Bhuya eva mahabaho Srinume paramam vachaha yatteham priyamanaya vakshyami hitakamyaya. So Bhagavan is offering this particular Vibhuti Yoga even without Arjuna asking any question. Now we go to the second sloka. he said, I am the only one who knows my glory. For that he is giving a clarification. Name viduhu suraganaha prabhavam na maharshayaha agam adirshi devanam maharshinam cha sarvashaha. Name viduhu suraganaha prabhavam na maharshayaha agam adirshi devanam maharshinam cha sarvashaha. Me viduhu suraganaha na viduhu suraganaha me prabhavam na viduhu. Suraganahas are devas. So devas do not know my glory. Why devas do not know the glory? That he comes in the next slide. Then he also says, na maharshayaha. Even maharshis, the rishis, even they do not know my glory. They know only a very small portion of my glory. Then who knows all the glory? Bhagavan. So Bhagavan says, Suraganaha as well as Maharshayaha na viduhu me prabhavam. Me prabhavam means my glory. There are a lot of meaning for this prabhavam. Now, when you say prabhavam, it can be glory. It can be anugraha. It can be my anugraha. It can be my samarthyam, skill. That is prabhavam. And there is one more meaning, shakti. There is also shakti. So shakti can be creation, can be glory, can be anugraha, can be samarthyam. Me prabhavam, my glory. Now, there are two types of, one is we call it Ishvara, and the other is called Jiva. We are all Jivas. Ishvara is Brahman with Maya. Maya is an upadhi. If Maya upadhi can be, it's like, our acting in a cinema. Some robe is given to a fellow. That robe is similar to a king's robe. Then he acts like a king. So similarly here, Brahman has got the Maya as a robe, and so that he can play and he can create this Jagat, the world, he can create the Jiva. But actually, Bhagavan remaining the same, Brahman remaining the same. There is no change taking place. When the drama is over, when the dress is removed, he again becomes Brahman. This is what we call as Vivarta Karana in Sanskrit. That means Lord remaining the same, but Lord taking the role as to create this Jagat, that is Prabhavam. Then he gets all the powers. Suppose I put a role of a king, I get all the powers. So I can punish somebody, I can reward somebody, I can do so many things, like the Prime Minister of India today. As a Prime Minister, individual, he is an individual. But who has given the powers to him? We, the voters, we, the people. We elected him. So naturally, he has got the powers of all of us. Same thing in the case of Ishvara. Ishvara has the powers of all the individual jivas. So that means Ishvara is a sarvajnan. He knows everything. Whereas jiva is alpajnan. Because jiva is like we are wearing an ignorance, ajnanam, as our dress. Whereas upadhi of Ishvara is Maya. And Maya is a inscrutable power Maya has got. Inscrutable power. So that is why it can create anything. It can take avatara. Like, you have taken Krishna avatara, Rama avatara, Matsya avatara. There are Dashavataras. So that means whenever there is decline of the dharma, paritranaya sadhuna, sambhavami yuge yuge. That means he comes down. When there are this adharma taking head. So the difference here is me prabhavam suraganaha and maharshayaha na viduhu. They do not know. So now you know why Bhagavan is able to know everything more than these people, because devas are superior human beings. Because they have done more punyam, they got more power. But when the punyam is exhausted, they have to come down. Chine punye matya logam vishanti. Whereas in the case of rishis also, they are also human beings. And as human beings, they have superior knowledge, intellect. And once you become a jnani, he is as good as Bhagavan. Because they also have everything, all the knowledge. But generally, that knowledge has come from Bhagavan. When the Narayana, the original Vishnu, from his navel, Brahma was born. Brahma's birth was from him. And Mahavishnu gave all the knowledge to Brahma, and that is why Brahma was able to create this world. So he created the world. But it was a limited power for him. Because then he has to create Vishnu. Vishnu is looking after the protection. And then he has to create Shiva, Lord Shiva, destruction. So creation, maintenance, and destruction. That is the cycle, three duties of these people. Like, in our normal parlance also, one is a lawyer, the other is a doctor. The doctor may not know anything about law, so he has to go and consult a lawyer. Similarly, when the lawyer is sick, he has to go to a doctor. So same thing here, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. And that is in the individual. But all in one is Ishvara. So he says, Me Prabhavam. The reason is, Aham Adirhi Devanam Mahashrinam Cha Sarvashaha. Aham Adirhi, I am the cause. Adihi means cause. I am the cause of the Devas and Maharshis. So when one is an effect, when I say you have gold as material, and then we have various types of ornaments. They are effects. Ornaments are nothing but nama rupa. There's only a name and form. Whereas gold is permanent. You can call it upadana karanam, material cause. And the maker, goldsmith, is a nimitta karanam. So he is able to make these ornaments, and the name and form is given to them, but they are not real gold. They are not real substance. There is no substance called bangle or chain or ring. But when I touch that gold to the ornament, I am touching only the gold. Similarly, in the case of Bhagavan, Ishvara is the Srishtikarta. Srishtikarta means he is the cause for this world. So, extending the analogy of the ornament of the gold, if I touch the ornament, I am touching the gold. Similarly, if I am touching anything in this world, suppose I touch a tree, the origin of the tree is Bhagavan. So, I am only touching Bhagavan. So, that is the vibhuti of, that is called vibhuti, glory of Bhagavan. So, when we open our eyes, we are seeing only Bhagavan. Unfortunately, because our vision has been diverted. So this Vibhuti Yoga is only trying to give a direction to us to look at the Ishvara rather than at the ornament. So he says, Agam Adirki Devanam. So whatever is an effect, it is not real. It is Nama Rupa, because there is no substance. Maharshi Namcha Sarvashaha. Sarvashaha means what? Both the Upadana Karanam and Nimitta Karanam. So you can see the difference between Ishvara and Jiva here. Then we go to the next shloka. Yo mam ajam anadim cha vetti lokamaheshwaram asammuraha samartyeshu sarvapapaihi pramuchyate. Yo mam ajam anadim cha vetti lokamaheshwaram asammuraha samartyeshu sarvapapaihi pramuchyate. In the first line, Bhagavan says, I have two swarupam. I have two aspects. One is called Nirguna Swarupam, that is Brahman with Maya, without Maya, that is Nirguna Swarupam, and Brahman with Maya, that is Saguna Swarupam. See, whatever we see the idol in the temples and all that, they are all Saguna Swarupam. So the one who knows, Yaha Veti. Yaha Veti means the one who knows. What does he know? Mam, me, Ajam, birthless, Anadim, causeless. There is no cause for me, but there is a cause for Devas and Rishis and Jivas. So I am causeless. When I say I am causeless, I am available all the time. 24 hours I am available, 24/7. So where is the birth coming in? When something is available all the time, there is no birth. That is why it's called Ajam. Ajam means birthless. Anadim means causeless. So the one who knows me as Ajam and Anadim, both birthless and causeless. This is Nirguna Swarupam. For Nirguna Swarupam, there is no, Bhagavan is no birth and no cause. Whereas we are all come because of the cause. Some causes Bhagavan has given. Because now, for example, the human beings are brought to the world because of our punya papa karma. Whatever has been fructified from the sanjita karma, we get this body. So that means Bhagavan is not giving us the body. Our purva punyam, that upadhi, that ajnana upadhi is responsible for our birth. So if you remove the ajnanam, how can you remove the ajnanam? By jnanam. Then you are birthless. Then you are causeless. So this is Vedanta. So Yaha Veti Mam, me, as Ajam and Anadim. And then he says Loka Maheshwaram. I am the cause for the world. Jagat. Jagat Karanam. That is Saguna Brahman. The first one was Nirguna Brahman. This is Saguna Brahman. In Bhajagovindam, there is one shloka. Kastvam koham kuta ayataha kame janani kome tataha. Kastvam koham kuta ayataha kame janani kome tataha. This is Bhajagovindam. Use your intellect to find out who are you, what are you, from where you have come, who gave you birth, who is your father. That is the Atma Jnanam. So here he says, Loka Maheshwaram. So using the intellect, we should not take it for granted that Brahman is the cause for the Jagat. Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya. But go on inquiring. That is Vicharam. So once you do contemplation, like what he has given in the Bhajagovindam, Kame Janini Kome Tadaha Iti Paribhavaya Sarvamasaram Vishwam Tektva Swapna Vicharam. So we are only dreaming now. Again, he says in Kathopanishad, Asmin Vijnate Sarvam Idam Vijnanam Bhavati. Asmin Vijnane. So if you contemplate on this, and then you arrive at, once you know this knowledge, Sarvam Idam Vijnanam Bhavati. Then you come to know everything. That is Ishvara. And this intellect is called Asammuraha, not deluded. There's a second word, second line, Asammuraha. Mudaha means a deluded fellow. My intellect is not within me. It is totally giving everything wrong. I see right as wrong, wrong as right. That is a deluded mind. Sammudaha means when you filter all the mudas, then whatever is left is called sammudaha. Total, samyak mudaha. Total delusion. And asammudaha means absolutely no delusion at all. Totally, delusions have been totally removed. Asammudaha. So what should be our goal now? Our intellect has to be sharpened. Our intellect has to be usefully employed to find out that what is our real Swarupa. That's what he says in the Shatkam. Mano buddhi ahankara chittani nagam. Natat srotadikve natat grana netre. Chidananda rupaha shivoham. So that is called Nirvana Shatkam. Nirvana Shatkam means, Nirvana means the mind has to be removed from all these afflictions. My relations, my property, my house, my this thing. Ultimately, Bhagavan is going to say that nothing is yours, everything is mine. That is the glory. So once you have that understanding, that glory of Bhagavan, naturally then your mamata will go away. Ahankaram will go away. Once mamata and ahankaram is gone, then you are a sane person. You are a saint. That is a Jivan Mukta status. Asammudaha samartyeshu. Martyeshu means, Martyaha means human being. And what is his yogyata? Marana yogyata. Martyeshu means Marana yogyata. Whatever, if I do not have any other yogyata, I have at least one yogyata given by Bhagavan, Marana yogyata. I am definitely going to die. Parana Yogyasa. Asammudaha samartyeshu sarva papaihi pramuchyate. Sarva papaihi pravyuchyate. This knowledge will absolutely remove all your sorrows. Pabam includes punyam also. Sarva papaihi pramuchyate. Why sarva papaihi pramuchyate? When I know I am Atma, I am Ishvara, what are the qualities of Atma? Akarta, Abhokta. Who gets Pabam and Punyam? Akarta, the one who does Karta, action. When you do action, the results come. Visible result and invisible result. Invisible result is Punyam and Pabam. That depends upon your motive of the action. If my motive of the action is good, I get Punyam. And if the motive of the action is bad, suppose I want to use steal money from somebody, that is, my motive is Papa Karma. But if a doctor wants to use a knife for saving a person, that is called Punya Karma. When I know I am not doing any action, Akarta, then there is no Punyam and Papa. That's what he says. Sarva papaihi vimuchyate. In computer language, when you want to erase some documents, click the button and it will ask you, you want to erase single files, folders, or you want to file total eraser. So if you click total eraser, the entire file will be erased. That is what Bhagavad says, if you know me, I will erase all your problems. Sarva papaihi pramuchyate. Purna dukkha nivritti. Purna dukkha nivritti means total erasure of all your papas. Now, there is a misconception. Because of my papam, I am getting a raw deal in this world. That's absolutely wrong. Because he says, man is not punished for his sins. Man is not punished for his sins. But he is punished by his sins. But he is punished by his sins. Sin is a self-insulting act arising of a misunderstanding in the sinner as to his own identity. Somebody calls me a bad word, something which is not normally used, abuses me. I have two options. I can treat that word as a sound. Nothing happens. It is a sound. You listen to so many sounds. Nothing happens. But if I give you some meaning to that word, suppose he says, I am a fool. Then I give a meaning to that word, fool. If I give a value for that, naturally I get agitated. So the sins are also like that. Sin is not giving you any problem, but how we take the sin. That's what he says, how we identify the sin. So as long as you don't identify the sin, take it as a word, sin and pavam and punyam as a word only, then you are not affected at all. That is a jnani. So he says, Yo mam ajam anadim cha veti lokamaheshwaram asammudaha samartyeshu sarva papaihi pramuchyate. So that means he is totally erased of all his sins and this thing. So the Vibhuti Yoga gives you all these benefits. So we'll continue in the next class, further slokas. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.